Hey, how you doing today?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Doing all right. And for the record, what's your name?
It's Robert McCants.
And what is your profession?
I am a sales consultant.
Okay. What's your company?
I work for a company, Can Capital. We sell, we're a private-owned company that sells business loans.
Oh, how long you been doing that?
Approximately 3 years.
Oh, how you like it so far?
It definitely, it's very rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
I like the ability to talk to customers, to get a vision for where they're going with their business,
Mm-hmm.
and be able to discuss with them their financial plan. We deal with short-term working capital,
Mm-hmm.
so some of the programs that we do discuss with them are more, paybacks within a year. So it becomes rewarding because I'm able to actually talk to a customer, understand what they're doing, but also be able to see some of the visions that they have for their business, whether it's expansion, whether it's marketing, things like that. I'm able to see that kind of real time, and and then the department that I'm in, I work in a refinance, so I have a lot of residual customers, and so I'm able to discuss, the initial time, what they're planning on doing with their business, and then we have the opportunity to follow up with them and discuss needing more money for other business ventures within their company. So it definitely has a lot of good side, and a lot of a good feeling when I'm able to see the work that I'm doing actually put to use
Okay.
for another customer.
Yeah, I know you've been in this company for 3 years. Has this been your primary industry?
The sales side, yes.
Okay.
This industry was, I came from the small business industry doing credit card processing,
Mm-hmm.
and so we used to direct some of our customer base to the small business loans whenever they were needing additional funding for their business to help grow. So I was actually given the opportunity to venture to this side of the equation, to kind of see how the process goes and kind of help businesses from this side.
Okay. And so, what kind of assistance can help you with today?
I'm sorry.
What kind of assistance can I help you with today?
Well, I think one of the biggest struggles that I have is finding more effective ways to deal with conflict resolution. There are instances where the way that I've probably attempted to handle a situation with a coworker, or with a manager, just didn't get fully resolved. Just kind of got addressed, spoken to, and then it just kind of falls off the table until the next time a situation happens. So was hoping to at least get a better understanding of some of the things that I can do to improve my ability to address conflicts when they happen, and be able to just move forward professionally, because I think it's something that has kind of hindered me for myself, because what I'm assuming is being handled within a conflict sometimes comes back up, and it comes back up, and it comes back up, and sometimes it can get very frustrating when you're dealing with the same issue consistently and not really knowing how to get beyond that.
Okay. In a scale of 1 to 10, how big of an issue do you see this?
I would say probably about a 7.
Oh, so it's pretty out there.
Yeah.
How often? I mean, over the course of a year, or not even a year, maybe a couple months. How often do you think this issue pops up in your professional life?
Probably, I'd say like maybe once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That it'll come up, but usually after the one time happens, then sometimes it can become like a mini domino effect, where I may have a conflict with this particular individual, and that conflict may carry on to another conflict with somebody completely different. There may be unrelated circumstances, but it just seems like once it happens with one person, then there may be 2 or 3 other people who may have also fall into line, where we just kind of bump heads on an idea, or heads on a resolution to whatever the issue is that we're having.
I understand that can be very frustrating over a period of time, especially if it's a repetitive situation. So to recalculate, the goal is for you to be able to figure out different ways to resolve conflicts within work, and get into resolutions quicker.
Yes.
Or more effective, to allow for, a better work environment.
Correct.
Okay. What is your reality now? How are things resolved now when these issues pop up?
That's a good question. Right now, it's been more situations where I've attempted to either discuss directly with the person, probably let them know my stance on the subject, and kind of go from there. I try to be very open to criticism. I try to be open to giving someone else the opportunity to share their view of whatever the issue is, and what I've noticed is that even as we will walk away from a situation, me sharing exactly my stance on it, and the other person from time to time stating that maybe they understand what I'm stating, that we're parting the situation on a mutual understanding, that if something similar happens, then it just seems like that issue kind of comes back to the exact same part that we were when we discussed it the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think part of my frustration is it just feels like it's a broken record.
So you're gonna have the exact same situation with the same person, just happen a month later, and you have the same conflict.
Correct.
Okay. Can you see how that detrimentally affects you?
I can, because whenever it happens, it actually takes my focus away from being effective with my job, because I may spend more time trying to understand why I'm having the same conversation over and over again with the same person, as opposed to spending part of that time just finding a better way to address it with either that person or someone above us who can more so put us both in the right place, and then I'm able to get on with my day-to-day task, or addressing my monthly goals. But instead I spend more time kind of frustrated, like why are we continuing to deal with the same issue when I thought it was addressed the last time, and then I thought it was addressed the time before that, and addressed the time before that, and there have been times where I've attempted to just kind of ask the person, why are we having the same issue? And there have been times where the finger has been pointed at me, that I'm the reason that we can't have it, or they don't have an answer at that particular time, or I may take it as that they're just angry, angry at life or angry at me. Don't 100% know, but that has been. It's just been negatively impacting my day-to-day life when it comes to my professional growth.
Understood. I can understand that repetitive issues like that can be very frustrating. Has there been has management gotten involved at all?
From time to time, I've had managers at times kind of pull me to the side, simply because they know that I'm headstrong.
Mm-hmm.
So they know that I don't bring any added issues to a work environment, but they also know that there may have been some times where I don't play well with others, and so sometimes managers jokingly or even seriously have kind of pulled me to the side, and have kind of just said, hey, let's find a better way to address it, or this particular individual may not receive the way that you address situations the same way that everyone else does, so maybe you should find a better way to address it with them, and and some of those matters. But I've never actually gone to management to discuss it and say, hey, here's the bigger issue that I'm seeing, or here's what I'm experiencing. How can what can we do as a team or an organization to rectify the situation, as opposed to me feeling like because someone else um, someone else views it differently, that I have to cater the way that I address or approach the situation, and so that part becomes frustrating. But like I said again, I haven't actually taken the time to go directly to management to find a better way, a more effective way to address the bigger matter.
Okay, I understand. So currently, reality is you still have situations where you have the consistent issues with some coworkers that are a bit repetitive. Either officially or unofficially, management is it's been somewhat escalated to management from time to time, and basically still need to find like a way to resolve these matters in a more efficient manner. Usually more efficient manner.
Yeah.
What do you think are some opportunities to help you, I guess, get to the path that you want to go?
I think, well, just kind of short term, of course. I know that I need to do a better job of addressing things with my managers before they become a bigger issue. I've attempted more and more now to direct other people to management before they attempt to try to address certain things with me. So I've attempted that, but I think that my next step will be to be more interactive with management, to share things that I'm seeing, not waiting until they actually happen. To actually go to management and just kind of state from my point of view what I'm experiencing, kind of giving them the vision from what I'm seeing directly, so that they can get a better understanding potentially from both sides, and they may be able to come up with a more effective game plan for us to be more cohesive, as opposed to kind of taking bits and pieces of information and trying to resolve a short-term fix, when apparently if it's happening over and over again, then it's not short-term. It's something that is probably a bigger issue that needs to be addressed. So I mean, that's the only thing I can think of right now, that just to go talk to management and just kind of see what they would want to say or what their game plan would be.
If it's a repetitive situation, it might be a systematic issue. Have you ever thought about finding out, okay, a lot of times people work in their own self-interest. You ever thought about figuring out what the people that you're in conflict with, put yourself in their shoes and figure out what's causing the pushback, or what is going on that's causing this constant pushback that you're seeing?
At times I have, and I think that's what adds to the frustration, because what I've had to learn to do throughout my professional career was to understand that not everybody views things the same way that I do, or that they don't move along the same path when it comes to resolution. And so I've attempted at times to put myself in the other person's shoes, but whenever I try to do that, some of the way that I'm viewing it and trying to understand how they're viewing it, it just doesn't make sense to me. It's kind of the theory, well, not the theory, but kind of the 1 + 1 = 2 mentality is, in my mind, I'm saying, okay, this plus this equals this, but the result that I'm getting is this plus this equals something completely different.
Yeah.
And so, so as I said earlier, part of the frustration is not being able to have an effective resolution. And so I'm spending more time trying to understand how can this individual come to this conclusion about a subject, or feel that my information isn't genuine, or feel that the help that I'm trying to provide is not as good as it may be to another coworker. Because what I'm seeing is that at times this one individual that I've had some conflict with
Mm-hmm.
is feeling that they're not getting the same level of support and assistance as I give other people. But what that person has failed to understand is that I try to be fair with the way that I address certain things. And so the issue that I'm having is trying to understand how, if they're observing the way that I interact with everyone else that's there and they're following that same pattern, how are they seeing something completely different than everyone else who I deal with? And so that's what's been harder for me to try to put myself in their shoes, because from my point of view, I am being consistent. I am doing the same thing with every interaction, with every assistance, but this other person is seeing something completely different, and for whatever reason they're taking a personal stance on the matter when I don't see the seriousness in the issue that they're having.
Have you taken? Are there any resources that you can use to help you better understand? Some people you work with in terms of booklets, like any kind of situation where you have maybe booklets or maybe videos that you can watch. They help you learn about conflict resolution. They help you resolve any kind of concerns you might have with your coworkers right now.
I haven't looked into anything like that. I mean, it's happened enough for me to know that it's happened.
Mm-hmm.
But until we actually thought about having the conversation, it was more so I just felt like it was kind of a one-off situation.
Mm-hmm.
That maybe it was just this one person, and then just kind of I've had some situations where it was initially just that one person,
Mm-hmm.
but then later that day, later that week, then it may be somebody else who has a similar view but on a different matter. And so I never thought about looking into any type of booklets or videos or anything like that. It was just kind of hey, this is what I'm experiencing. I don't know why it's happening, and then now it's kind of like, well, I see that it's a pattern. I see that it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so just kind of knowing that there is some information, and kind of saying, hey, let me find out what else is out there, because I know that I'm not the only one in the world who's dealing with this type of issue. So I probably will, at least see what kind of literature is out there to read up on, to see, what other people have dealt with just through multiple situations. And I feel that, that may be the next step outside of talking to management, is at least finding a way for myself, because I know that just because this may seem isolated right now, like when I try to progress professionally, the higher you get up, you're going to run into more conflicts.
Right.
And it may be something that could benefit me long term.
Yeah, so you want to watch out for that kind of thing, especially you're trying to progress. If you have a situation where you see this thing's like a bigger issue, since you rated a 7 out of 10, something you want to resolve, there are probably multiple opportunities out there to try to, if you can't understand what's going on with the people that you work with directly, figure out different techniques to diffuse situations, and different techniques to figure out what's driving people to do what they're doing, and figure out maybe it's something you're doing that you might not realize. If maybe how you come off, or maybe how you're doing, maybe either how you come off or maybe how you perceived, that might color you incorrectly, especially if it's coming from more than one individual. So there are different things you can do to try to get that resolved. Whether it be not literature, maybe there's videos, there are different self-help books, there are different avenues, classes you can take to try to get it resolved, and all those avenues should be looked at. Because it's a 7. What things you think you actually be able to do to try to do this? How dedicated are you to try to get this resolved over time? Because you as you specified, it's a 7, and also that it's been either you haven't discussed it directly with the managers, but they are present of the issue. So how far along were you willing to take it to try to resolve this matter?
I mean, pretty far. You know, now that I've actually acknowledged that it is a problem, you know, that it's something that needs to be addressed, then, you know, I'm definitely going to look into additional information. You know, look at books. You know, the easiest thing with the way that life is now is to pull things up online. You know, so I can look at some videos to, you know, just kind of go through conflict resolution and just kind of see just what, as a whole, what people are dealing with. You know, because every conflict has a source. You know, that source may not be exactly what my issue is, but every conflict does have a source, and for every time that, you know, you can kind of see, well, where did that source go, and what type of tools are people being given to improve themselves. Yeah. So, you know, it's definitely something that I'm going to look into, you know, as soon as possible to at least start building the tools to kind of get some things in a row, so that as I continue to move forward, as I continue to have discussions with management or interactions with this individual, or, you know, the multiple people that I may deal with, you know, be able to put some of those things in place so that I can get beyond that and actually focus on continuing to progress forward as opposed to kind of standing in the same place, having the same issue. So I'm very dedicated to getting something better than what I've been doing.
And can you see how doing taking those actions can benefit you in other ways professionally?
I do, because you know, I think taking the time whenever you see something that is not going according to the plan that you have set, knowing that, or actually identifying that I may not be the only person who's ever dealt with this specifically. So being able to just kind of research things, you know, adding as many tools to my tool belt that I can, I feel is a very positive step, because it's, you know, even though right now it's conflict resolution, the next time it may be, you know, dealing directly with coworkers. It may be finding ways to deal with management. It may be finding ways to approach customers better. You know, so just knowing that I'm not the only person who's ever dealt with these things, I know can help me move forward, because once I can get this particular issue out of my system, or just kind of get this particular issue addressed, then I can move on to bigger and better things. And as certain things that are happening kind of come to light, then I know what steps to take. You know, I know that I can research it. I know that I can, you know, address it with someone above me who may have experienced this before, and just kind of continue to add more tools, because I feel that you're always learning, and I want to continue to learn to be better, not only for myself, but for the people that are around me.
Okay. If you had to guess, this issue was a 10. I mean, this issue for you was a 7 out of 10 initially. How out of 10? How willing are you? What's your current willingness to get this resolved?
Say about an 8.
8. Okay. That's very dedicated. Okay. Well, thank you for your time, Robert. Appreciate your assistance. All right.